I know, Ryan, didn't you get fleas one time?
Yes, I've had to bag everything up as I leave the job and then go straight into the shower. I am terrified of tiny bugs. I do not like them. All the tiny ones. I'm getting itchy right now.
As I say, you better stop. You gotta start to itch.
We're going to preface this with Ryan is a war veteran. U.S. Army retired.
Certified bullets over his head and lice and
what
fleas.
the Taliban didn't know is if they would have just walked by him with some bed bugs, he would have just capitulated.
Welcome to Access Granted, a peek inside the real-life stories of physical security professionals. Now, here are your hosts, Justin, John, Ryan, and Brandon.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Brandon. I'm here with John, Justin, and Ryan. We will be talking this week about value of the door lock. There are multiple different kinds of deadbolts out there, multiple different keyways, and multiple different prices. To get into that a little bit more, we'll have Justin start it off here and kind of give you a little rundown of what we mean by that.
Yeah, we've been talking about security and value and security and life safety, and it's a hard line to walk. As we go through our job now, we're now having to think of what's the closest means of egress. How are they getting in and out? And it's a constant conversation with the customer, with our technicians, with local authorities, trying to make sure that we can secure your world, your life, or your family in a way that if something, the worst case should happen, whether it be a school shooting, we have to constantly do these things. And it does come... It comes down to two things. It comes down to cost, and it comes down to the value of what we're protecting. I can do just about anything, right? There's not much I can't do with the lock. The question, though, is what's the customer going to pay for and how important that person's valuables, whether that be people or items, are.
Right. One of the things Justin just mentioned was, we did a hardware upgrade for a school. But one of the things that we're seeing currently is that, schools are spending a lot of money with a lot of security companies and so forth, including ourselves, to put in cameras, to put in access control and so forth. But they're not upgrading the hardware that's been in the school for 50, 60 years. So one of the things that when we meet with the school districts or we meet with a school itself, we talk about, it's nice that we can do the cameras, we can do the access control, electronic access control in a building. But we really need to look at your underlying hardware. We need to look at your routes of ingress, and egress. And can we limit that, to only certain ways in and certain ways out, except in an emergency?
One of the worst things is with the churches and schools is a lot of people have been on the board for many years or have attended the church or school for many years. And then they've had a key to everything. And then when it comes time to, hey, we're going to cut down, there's people, we don't know where these keys are. People have passed. People have moved. We're just going to get the building rekeyed. Now, they stand at the door and just want you to hand them their key. And then you tell them, I don't have that responsibility. That has to come from, the head of the church, pastor. And then you find out that they're not on the list.
They're not getting a key.
You really want to ruin an old-timer's day. Tell them someone who's been carrying a key for 20 years that you no longer get one. That stirs up some pots at the church. And then we get a call we're going to put this project on hold because we need to figure out
who all has keys,
who we're going to give keys to. And then there's 50 chiefs and no Indians.
We make it a priority of our technicians, or when we're doing these jobs, we only hand the keys to a specific contact unless we've been given other names, right? Because you would be amazed at other people who walk up and be like, oh, hi, I'm James. I've always had a key here. Can I have one? Well, no, I don't know who you are from Adam. Ryan and I did a local company that does a lot of government work. And we had a local contact. We were doing the work, and this lady comes up to us. And she's like, give me all the keys you have. I'm in charge. And I was like, no, I don't know who you are. And we got pulled into the president of this company's office, and we got to sit around for like 35, 40 minutes waiting for this meeting to happen. And this little lady comes in, and she starts berating us for not giving her the keys. And she's the CFO in charge of the project. And I said, well, ma'am, you weren't on my contact list. I just don't give keys out to people. And I actually, in the end, even though it was a really uncomfortable situation, at the time, I think we'd only been doing this 3 or 4 years. And this was one of our first big projects that we were heading up. It was an uncomfortable situation. I didn't know what to do, but we stuck to our guns of how we were trained. And it actually made them happy in the end once we explained it to them. I mean, she was pretty irate to begin with, but once the president heard, oh, you're just not handing out keys to this facility to just willy-nilly and you didn't know who she was, it made a lot more sense.
Once she found out she was getting fired, her day was real bad.
Yeah. I think as we go through, I think a good goal of us trying to have these conversations is teaching individuals of how you should think about this. And I'm not trying to do it so we can make more money. I'm trying to secure the world because I always try to think of it from a customer's lens is, am I going to protect my wife and kids in this building? Would I be comfortable with that?
All right, everybody. Well, that was this week's installment. If you have any questions, you can always stop in down at the shop at 1304 West 4th Street for us. Davenport, Iowa. I'm sorry, I got distracted there. What were you tapping? Oh, I had to all right. So you can always stop down at our office at 1304 West 4th Street here in Davenport, Iowa, or give us a call at 563-322-0123, or if you want to just check us out without having to talk to us at all, you can always go to our website at jjlocks.com, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening to Access Granted, a podcast by J&J Access and Security in association with TAG. For more information about J&J Access and Security, visit jjlocks.com.